Hey everybody, it's Bex. Welcome back to my channel. Today's build is a ranch style home in Oasis Springs. Not typically the place you would build a ranch style. This world tends to be more mid-century modern. But I actually really enjoy Oasis Springs. It's actually my favorite world to play in for gameplay purposes, but I never built there. So I thought, why not? Let's build a ranch in the desert. This ends up being a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. The floor plan, when I was mapping it out just now, it felt like it was a lot bigger, and it ended up not being as big as I initially feared it would. I think it was the lot size that made it look really big, but this ends up being like a perfect little like small family home. Not like the home is small, like the family is small, parents, 2 kids, whatever. And I think I actually really like this build. The only thing about the build that I am kind of not so in love with is the back porch, because there's one section where it's just like really, really close to the house. And one thing that I hate about The Sims is that you can't do like stairs in a corner of the porch like that. Like, I really wanted to do the stairs on the back porch kind of on that corner, and you can't really do that in The Sims, understandably so, because it just doesn't work. If they could figure out a way to get it to work, that would be super duper, but it just doesn't. So that's kind of my only real issue with the house. The roofing kind of bugged me for a little while, but I think it wasn't necessarily placing the roof, it was the color of the roof. It took forever for me. And then because it's a ranch, I feel like that it's kind of almost like a dead giveaway to use seasons for the exteriors. So that's what I did, because that pack really screams like ranch style to me, because it's, I don't know, it's just very Pinteresty. And I feel like if you were to look up like a Pinterest home, which I did kind of want this to be like I sort of, the Sims in my head, the Sims who live here, mom really doesn't like that she lives in the desert. So she wants the perfect like Pinterest home and the perfect family and all of these things. So it's kind of what I was going for. Like, for instance, they have like a fireplace, even though they literally live in the desert. Like, it makes no sense, but mom's gonna get what mom wants. And I did put it on a foundation, because that's how you have stairs on the outside, but I don't do the foundation right away in most of my builds, because it makes landscaping a real nightmare, so I just didn't do it. But yeah. And then, so going back to the family that lives here, I kind of envision almost like a painfully stereotypical like Republican white family. Just like all God all the time, y'all, like those, like that. I don't know. It so the what I end up doing is making the 2 kids. I didn't make the family. I'm kind of tempted to, just to be perfectly honest, like I'm kind of tempted to make this family. But in my head, like, mom and dad are almost painfully conservative and heteronormative, and don't really understand things that aren't white and Christian and straight. So I kind of envision like the two kid family. So they have a son who's like a young child, and they have a daughter who's an older child, verge of teenager, and she is a big fat gay. So I gave her a lesbian flag and a gay pride flag in her bedroom. So I mean, we're not there yet, but that happens. So just so everybody knows. And I hate that gate so much. I feel like that gate it's so ugly, but it fits so well. And out of the box for me, I put a pool in this build. I normally don't put pools in my builds. I've mentioned it on an earlier or on one of my previous videos, but I did not grow up in a home with any sort of money, so we did not have pools when I was a kid. I went to there was a pool in the park by the house that I grew up in, so I would go there, and then my aunt and my uncle usually had a above ground like inflatable pool kind of for a few years when I was a kid, that I would go hang out in with my cousins until my cousin Sean stabbed the pool with a pair of scissors and ruined that for all of us. So it's just not something I normally put in builds because it's not in my nature to they're just not in my default. And then another atypical move for me, I didn't do an excessive amount of landscaping for this house. I did go with like desert plants and things like that, and some rocks and stuff in the front and the back. But I tried to keep the landscaping to a minimum because they're in the desert, and I feel like even though Mom wants this to be the perfect Pinterest home, Dad is very much like, we are not putting a full yard and garden in this home or on this property because the bills would be outrageous. Like, I could just hear my own father saying that. And he is a man who prides himself on his lawn. So if I could hear my own father's voice saying that, I could only imagine Sim Dad would also think that as well. So this little area, that little section that I just got rid of, that was originally supposed to be like a half bath and then an adjacent laundry room, but I didn't like that it cut into what ends up being the daughter's room later, because she already has like an indent in there. She already gets the smallest bedroom, and I feel like that's just, I feel like part of it is because she prefers that bedroom, because it does end up being like a really cool like little alcove back there. But or like it could be, I think I just put a dresser in there, but I don't know, I felt kind of bad having a room back there, because originally when I was building it, I was like, okay, this could be like an office or a guest bedroom, because I knew I wanted at least one of the bedrooms to be the kids' room, because I do tend to build more family style. My gameplay is more family not oriented, because I swear like a sailor and I have Wicked Whims installed, so it's obviously not family friendly content in my personal gameplay. But my gameplay usually leans toward being more family gameplay. So even though my Sims 90% of the time end up being extremely queer, there's always at least one kid, and I don't know, it's probably because I play this game to make my own life, like to live vicariously through my Sims. Oh god, it's so sad. That's another thing I'm trying to get out of doing, is just making the same Sim over and over and over again with different clothes, because that is something I do. Sorry, I was trying not to like cough into the microphone. Also, it is 3:45 in the morning right now as I'm recording this voiceover, because my insomnia at 1:30 this morning was like, hey beach, how y'all doing? And I didn't want to hang out with her, but then I laid there for 2 hours and I was like, okay, I'm just not going back to sleep. So why not do something productive, like record a voiceover and actually post on my channel, because that's something I'm trying to grow and do, and I actually enjoy making videos, but I don't have a quiet place to record voiceovers during the day, so might as well take advantage of the fact that I don't sleep. So there's that. Also, I do end up leaving in the decorating of the bathrooms, because the master bathroom, I actually really had a good time decorating, which is not normal for me. Also, these tiles on the floor in here, I never use. So the fact that I used them this time, I was super proud of myself, because I never do. And typically, I use the pedestal sinks instead of counters with sinks in them for bathrooms. And I don't know why, because it doesn't make sense, because you wouldn't like have a pedestal sink in a bathroom, like in a home bathroom anyway, that's like not super ornate or that's like family oriented, because you need the counter space for toothbrushes, soap, makeup, whatever you're going to put on them. You need that. So I don't know like why I do that. Also, I'm super annoyed that you can't put the toilet roll onto counters, because I don't know, maybe it's just me, but the toilet roll in my bathroom at home in my house is on the side of the cabinets, and in the house I grew up in, it's also on the cabinet. Yeah, because I remember we lived in one house and it was on the wall, and then we moved into the other house and it was on the cabinet, and I remember thinking, oh, that's weird. And then my mom was like, no, that's actually normal. The other house is weird. And I was like, what? My 13-year-old brain was like, I cannot cope. But anyway, so I really like this bathroom. One, because I actually used a platform in it, and that's not something I do. Sorry, excuse me, my voice. I don't really use platforms, because even though the update has been out for a while, I still have not gotten the hang of platforms. I struggle with them a lot, and there's something that I practice with constantly, so I don't know what my problem is. But anyway, also, so I'm gonna put in a little thing right here about those curtains. So I put those curtains in here because I didn't want the entire bathroom to just be blue. Like, it's already blue, but I didn't want it to be like blue. So I put in those curtains for a pop of color. And then as I was editing the video, I realized that I used those exact same curtains in those exact same swatch in the boys' room. Yeah. It's just who I am. Also, I installed some CC in between screen captures, so even though I had no trouble finding the curtain on the right-hand side when I was decorating this bathroom, when I went to decorate the boys' bathroom, I had to use a CC curtain that had some like recolors just to get that swatch back. And I was like, what is happening? Where'd my curtain go? But anyway, it's just, it's cuckoo bananas. So the reason I like this bathroom a lot is because it's got a bunch of Salvadorada stuff in it. So the build and buy content, the build mode stuff. Oh my gosh, I cannot talk. It's 3:45. I cannot speak. It's got a bunch of the content from the build mode content. Oh my god, from Jungle Adventure. And I think that is some of the best build mode content to date. Everything from landscaping to clutter. It's just got some of the best. So I used that in there because I really enjoyed it, and I wanted to put a bunch of plants in that bathroom because, again, I feel like Pinterest mom would want a very photographable bathroom. So that's why I did that. And then I'm gonna admit something right now. It's a very unpopular opinion about the color blue, but I hate the color blue. I absolutely loathe the color blue. I feel like it's everywhere and it's just obnoxious. And I feel like because when I was a little girl, even though my favorite colors were red and pink, to this day, my favorite colors are red and pink and yellow. I love them. And army green. You know what? I'm going to retract my statement. I don't have a favorite color, but as a little girl, I feel like everybody expected my favorite color to be pink. So I didn't want to admit to them that I actually really liked pink. Spoiler alert, I had a pink bedroom, so clearly I liked the color pink. But I feel like as a little girl, we're all kind of boxed into that little like role, like your favorite color has to be pink, you have to like glitter, all of this shit, just gender conforming nonsense. And because of that, I feel like a lot of little girls will be like, well, my favorite color is blue, I'm different, and like we're kind of forced into like pick me behavior from an early age. And because of that, I hate the color blue. But also, I genuinely think that blue is not an attractive color. And it sucks because the best color for me is freaking blue. My eyes are blue. 2 of my 3 children have blue eyes. I am surrounded by blue, and I hate it. Anyway, that was my rant about the color blue. I don't know. But, oh, that's why I did it, because I put a lot of blue in this house. That's why I did that rant. Sorry. ADHD brain is just, it's everywhere. I also feel like I did a much better job this time around of decorating one room at a time, or at least putting major things in and then like going from there, and like I still just cluttered as I go. Like as I went through the clutter portion of the build mode menu, I just kind of did whatever, and just put stuff as I saw it. But I feel like I did much better of not being so everywhere with the placement of like major features like furniture and curtains and cabinetry and stuff like that. Also, I used cabinets in here to make the fireplace look like a built-in, because that's something I wanted to do when I originally thought of the idea for the house. But then when I laid out the floor plan, I forgot to include that built-in. And then when it came time to actually put in the furniture, I didn't really feel like I had a whole lot of room. And looking at the house from the back, I didn't want to get rid of one of the windows by the back door, because I feel like that would have made it very lopsided. So I didn't want to do that. Also, with the cabinets in here, I do kind of make it look like the corner cabinet is built around that pillar in between the kitchen and the living room. And at first I was like, I don't really like that. I don't know how I'm going to get around that. Also, corner cabinets bug me, because if it's that outer corner, you cannot place it. Like it will never place where you want it to place. It just bugs the crap out of me. But yeah, so right here I end up putting that corner cabinet in there to make it look like it's built in, and then I put an island to make it look like it's a built-in island counter. And I didn't put any seating in those islands, mostly because I just wanted them to be like extra counter space, sort of. But the functional cabinet is the one by the fridge. And then I play tested this house, so everything's functional. You shouldn't have any issues getting into any rooms or anything. This house is on the gallery, so there shouldn't be an issue with that. However, because of the issue with the curtain in the boys' room, and then there's a couple plants that I really liked from some CC that I had. Sorry, I just hit my mic. So when you place the house, there might be a couple of things missing, but none of the major things are CC. No furniture, appliances, anything like that is CC. Everything else is Max's content, so you shouldn't have any issues with that. It's not a limited packs build, I don't think. Or it might be. I used Parenthood Seasons base game. I think there's a little bit of paranormal because I like the plants. And then El Salvador, Jungle Adventure. Yeah, no, it's not limited because there's Laundry Day too. So it's, I always say I'm going to do a limited pack build. And then I end up doing not that. And I end up putting in way too many packs, but I'm going to do it one of these days. I'm going to do a base game only house, I think, pretty soon. I don't know yet. I'm also trying to get more into community lots because I don't really do that very often either, but I want to. So there's a custom content plan that I just put down. I want to do more with base game stuff because I feel like not everybody can get every single pack for The Sims. Like, I mean, to buy The Sims 4 plus all of the packs is like crazy expensive. So, like, I know not everybody can get every pack, and I respect that. I did not buy anything unless it was on sale, except for Paranormal, and that's because I really wanted it. So I respect the frugality of not buying anything for The Sims 4. However, Parenthood is a pretty great pack to get if you're gonna get Sims 4. Just throwing that out there. I think my favorite content to get would be Parenthood, Paranormal, and I don't know. What game pack? Jungle Adventure. Yeah, Jungle Adventure. It's got the best build and buy mode, and I really love the world that comes with it. Salvadorada. I love it. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I hope I'm saying that right. Anyway, so I'm on to the cluttering portion. Also, I'm pretty sure that I did that kitchen as like a minty color scheme, not only because it fit with the blue of the house without being obnoxiously blue, but also because I would love to have mint colored cabinets and counters. No cap. I mean, ideally my kitchen would be yellow, because I feel like yellow is such a happy color, and the kitchen is my favorite room of the house typically. So I would love a yellow kitchen. And in fact, the kitchen in my house was yellow when I first bought the house. But then my wife decided that she didn't like the yellow. So even though I said, the kitchen is the only room I want to be done a certain way, please just let me have this. You can do whatever you want with the rest of the house. And she went, okay. And then she painted my kitchen white. I know. Yeah, I know. 2 years ago, and I'm still upset about it. What can you do? She doesn't watch my videos anyway. She doesn't support me. So I'll talk about her. I'll talk all the ish I want. So the one room in this house that doesn't get obscenely decorated is this office. And it was because part of me was like, why do they even need an office? Pinterest mom probably is a stay-at-home mom, or she needs the office because she's trying to be a mommy blogger and it hasn't quite taken off yet. And I feel like Dad does anything he can to not be in this house. Like that is the environment I'm going for. Like, I want them to be so stereotypical. Like, I want the hatred between this man and wife to be so, like, I want it to be like a stereotypical sitcom, like, oh, I hate you. Oh, I hate you too. Why are we together? Meh. But not with the funny stuff that comes with the sitcom. You know what I mean? So, I feel like he is like a sitcom dad, but not funny or endearing. So, he hates his wife and his children. He hates his life. He doesn't want to be in it anymore. But his wife is all about image and all of this stuff. So house has to be perfect. Everything has to be perfection all the time. And so he just like nods his head and says, yes, dear, and it just goes away when it comes to work. I don't know what Dad would do. Part of me was kind of like, maybe I should make him a cop because, you know, I feel like it's the vibe. But at the same time, I don't want him to be a cop because I don't exactly have a good view of the police. And I don't want the sim to come across as like abusive. I just want him to be absentee-ish. I don't know. I'm making up a backstory for Sims that have not been created yet. It's literally just a house. So, welcome to my brain. Okay, so this is the daughter's room that I was telling you about. So, this room goes through some changes. Originally I wanted her to be kind of like goth, like to go against the grain and that kind of thing. And then I ended up making her more of I don't know how to say it any other way than she's just a gay. I don't know. So I ended up trying to go with making her super goth. And then I couldn't find a bed that fit with it, to be perfectly honest. It was the bed and it was the furniture in this room that made me change my mind about the daughter, about making the daughter goth. So I made her gay instead. It's like my life story. I tried to be goth as a teenager and it didn't work because my mom wouldn't let me wear black nail polish or paint my bedroom a dark color. So I decided to be a gay emo instead. Oh my god. And you know what's funny is every friend that I have that I had back then that I'm still friends with, so admittedly not a lot, all of them are like, yeah, you were the least surprising person to come out. And I was like, thank you, appreciate that. So they all knew before I was ready to know, because I didn't fully admit to myself that I was anything other than straight until I was 26. Yeah. But all my friends are like, yeah, no, yeah, you're not straight. Like, all right, thanks, guys. That that little stuffed animal is also custom content, so, and that plant, so they won't be there if you download the house. But again, it's just a couple of things that won't be there, so it's not like you'll miss out if you download the house and those aren't there. Yeah, so I ended up making this room more of like a pastel kind of, just like typical teen room. She's got posters and stuff, but she's also got her pride flags and things like that. Oh, here's me getting distracted by custom content. And now back to decorating. So I decided to give each of the kids an accent wall because that's something my mom did. She would never let me like fully pick the color of my room. She would always be like, well, you like this, so why don't we give you one wall that's like that, and how about you let me do the rest so your room doesn't get to be too much. Because I used to have headaches as a kid, or I still have headaches, but when I was a kid they were set off by super bright colors. So here's me struggling with this curtain. So I had a pink room at one point in time, but it had to be like a really like soft Barbie pink. Not like the hot Barbie pink that a lot of people think, but it was like, like a late 90s Barbie pink, like after she got out of her neon phase and started to tone things down a little bit. And then we moved when I was 12, and my room was like a light purple because my mom kind of picked my favorite color for me when I was a kid. And so up until I was like 15 or 16, I let her tell everybody that my favorite color was purple. And then I took an art class and had to do a painting that was all purple tones. And I hated it because I just got tired of looking at purple. So after that, I was like, please let me paint my room. Please. I wanted to go with a burgundy red. And she said, absolutely not. And I said, how about an accent wall? And she said, okay. So I was like, I really like yellow. And I think this pale yellow color goes really well with this red color I like. And she was like, okay, yeah. I was like, okay, I'll paint the red color. And then Dad can do the yellow if you want. And she was like, okay, sounds good. So I then made my room red and yellow striped. And she was real mad about it. Oh, the things we do as kids. It was fun stuff. Anyway, so I carried over the mint color with the mirror, which after a while I was like, maybe not. And I thought about changing it, but I end up leaving it because I do end up really liking it a lot. And then, so one thing you'll notice is that there's not a whole lot of wall decor, because I wanted to leave space for people who play the game like I do, who take a lot of pictures of their Sims, doing various things like birthdays, marriages, that kind of thing. So I wanted to be able to like leave room for like family pictures. So, and then I think I was trying to put a bookshelf over on that wall, and then I was like, hey, genius, you have a table over there. So I was like, books on the table. Ugh. And then here, sorry, that was gross. Here's where I'm doing like different cluttery things. And then I wasn't getting distracted. I would just see something in the clutter list and go with it. Excuse me. And then one thing, my debug menu has been really weird. And I don't know if it's because I don't remember who did it. There's a mod to organize the debug and the build and buy mode menu. And I thought I uninstalled it, but I don't know, because my debug menu's been really off. So I need to go through my mods folder and see if I actually uninstalled it, because it's bugging me. Because I tried searching debug, nothing popped up. I tried filtering through debug, like you're supposed to be able to with that mod, and it was like 2 rows. And I was like, that's not right. That's off. So I think I need to uninstall that, because I don't know if it's a me problem or a mod problem. So I'm gonna assume it's a me problem because most things are. But I need to uninstall it. So another thing, I like to make sure there's skill building items in every build, whether it's a chess table or an easel, something like that. And I like to make sure that kids always have a kid specific skill building item. So in the boys' room, I put a kid's violin, and then in the daughter's room, I put a guitar and an easel, and then there's the chessboard on the back patio, obviously. And then I don't think I put planter boxes. I usually put planter boxes, but I didn't put planter boxes in this one, just because I was like, where would I put them, you know? And fun fact, those lights will still work even if they go through columns, so. Or not columns, a door. God. I thought about putting a fire pit back here, because I would kill for a fire pit, but I didn't. I ended up going with some like deserty landscaping. And then, yeah, they get a grill. And then I actually don't do a whole lot in this backyard. I did forget to put, so you saw me struggling with that right there. I did forget to put a path from the back gate to the stairs. But that's totally my bad. Mostly because I kept trying to do it and I kept looking at it and I went, those stairs are so wide, how would I do a path? And then I was like, I'll do the landscaping and come back to it. And then I never came back to it. So add your own path if you want. And then here's just some like last minute landscaping with some cactuses and stuff. I actually live in a place that is technically in the Pacific Northwest, but is also a desert. So I'm actually a big fan of cactuses, cacti. I kind of grew up seeing them everywhere, and they're everywhere now. And you can't grow them outside where I'm at because I don't live in a part where they can, like the desert. I say desert with air quotes, air quotes. But it's not like they don't grow well here, at least not in the area I live in. Like you'd have to go a little bit further south to get that, but I just like cacti. Well, that's it for me. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe and leave a comment, all that great YouTube stuff. And I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.